Hey viewers, welcome back to my channel, Conversations with Steph. Hey guys, welcome back to Conversations with Steph. I know it's been a long while since I've put out any content or posted an interview. All of that will be changing in 2025, right? I've got some content coming out. I've got more interviews on the way. So this is going to be a very different year for us here at Conversations with Steph. But with all that, we start with the first change, right? So I'm having my first comeback interview, right, with the founder of Minority is Majority Collective. Here we have Lindsay, right? I'll give her a moment to introduce herself at length and, before I go over. But for now, I think this is just an exciting interview. I'm really looking for the conversation that we're going to have. I'm hoping for vulnerability, bravery, and some realism, right? In our conversations, because that's just what we do here at Conversations Steph. We create a space of safety where people can come and be vulnerable and share and have hard conversations, somewhat controversial conversations, but all in good fun, of course, and maybe a little bit educational. So without further ado, I'll turn the camera over to Lindsay and have her introduce Minority is Majority Collective. And thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much. Wow, what an introduction.
You're welcome.
So yes, I am Lindsay. I'm the founder of Minority is Majority Collective. And I honestly came up with this idea one night after getting over some qualms that I had internally with everything that happened politically, whether it was during the pandemic and afterwards, the aftermath of everything that I felt like everyone has, had to adjust to as far as the political climate. And I felt like we needed a space for us, bringing back a sense of collective gathering as far as minorities go, not just Black people. I feel like majority of the people in the US are minorities. So Minority is Majority Collective to me defines a minority as not such a minuscule term as insubordinates, or looking at just one race, religion, or one people of color or background. It's a collective, and that involves all those things, right? So that's where this thought came about. I looked at a minority as people that came together, but maybe from different backgrounds, as far as maybe my parents weren't born here in the US. Maybe my parents didn't gain wealth in the US. Maybe they didn't have religious values from this country. And coming together as a collective, as a minority, makes us the majority, is where I was going with this whole idea as Minority is Majority Collective.
All right, well, thank you for explaining that, right? And sharing with me a bit more, and with everyone watching, a bit more of your perspective, right, on Minorities Majority Collective, right? And I kind of understand the point, right, where we have minority being something that touches across many different categories, right? And seeing that when you put it together, it becomes the majority. Collectively, we are operating in this space, right? And I look forward to diving a bit deeper, as this is a bit of an intro that we have going on, right? And in the conversation, but I do have more questions. So one more, let me get here and read.
Yeah.
And so overall, what's your vision, right, for Minorities Majority Collective? Like, how do you see this expanding? Is it going to be just in New York, just Florida? Are we hoping to go state by state? What is your general vision for now?
My vision for now, when I tell you it has grown from the time that I thought about it till up until now, it's educational. It is an experience, and it provides just, I want you leaving our events feeling like, wow, you got a lot out of it, whether it was you connected with someone there, or you felt like the hosts, us as a collaborative, came together and we gave you something that you were able to take back home and just think about, ponder even deeper. And that's my goal is just to continue being able to have the resources to educate our minority again as a collective, you know, gathering in a space where we feel like we can open up and talk about everything, all the resources that we have as a collective, which I feel like are a lot as professionals.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, awesome. So I have two more questions. And so out of Minorities Majority Collective comes the birth of Anonymous Truth events, right? Which is what Lindsay was sharing with us, right? A bit more there in terms of the Anonymous Truth events. So just tell me a little bit of what you perceive to see like with these events, right? How do you see them evolving? And also, what are the rules, right? The Anonymous Truth. I mean, I like the name because it was like, oh great, I can speak my truth, but maybe anonymously, right? A lot of us, sometimes we hold back on truth because we're nervous, we're scared,
Right.
We don't want to be judged, right? We're afraid to be vulnerable, we're not feeling comfortable. And so I like the anonymous part of it. So if you could elaborate a bit more, I would love that.
Well, to be honest, a lot of this came about because I thought of times where Martin Luther King or Malcolm X would have meetings, right? They would have these private meetings where they felt like they couldn't congregate publicly. So for me, Minority is Majority Collective kind of came with that thought process where now we need a space. We need, you know, somewhere where we can actually speak. And that's where Anonymous Truths came about. But I wanted it to open up even, you know, more broader than just the Black race. And I wanted us to be able to come together again, unify, and be able to educate ourselves, amongst ourselves, right? We have a lot to give to this world as a collective, whether it's Black, Asian, you know, all the minorities that have migrated to this country. We have a lot to show. We have a lot to give. So that was where Anonymous Truths was born, where it allows, again, like you said, Steph, people to speak up, and sometimes people feel judged by even their friends and family to be able to speak on certain things. So it allows people to speak anonymously, even to the host.
Yeah. Yes.
And with that, they get their questions answered, whether it's through a different perspective, and maybe they don't like that perspective. Maybe they're challenged by that perspective. But at the end of the day, they're leaving with those ideas and those thoughts that they maybe had never heard before. And that, you know, births a new light in them as far as, wow, that the light bulb just went off and this is the direction I'm gonna go in.
Yeah.
And that's what even birthed this for me, you know, just having different experiences, and this was one of them where I felt like it would be beneficial to our community.
Nice, lovely, well said, well said. Thank you so much. Well, that sounds like a great event, right? I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who has questions, thoughts, ideas that they really want to share, right? They want to talk about or want to bring up, but maybe they don't feel as supported in their personal inner circles, in their own communities, but they can come gather and kind of say, hey, listen, this is what I have going on. And so really quickly, so when an event is going on, what happens? The person who purchased the ticket, when they come in, do they then, like, how do they submit these questions, and how do you keep the anonymous part very much alive?
Well, electronically is where it starts.
Nice.
We're coming into a world where technology is at the forefront. So you come in, you meet, you know, your guests, your hosts, you scan a QR code. Through that QR code, you're given instructions, and the instructions are pretty simple. That's where you write your anonymous truth. And we sometimes have themes.
Yes.
Coming up on this next event, we're going to be guiding kind of, as far as themes go, more awareness as far as the mental health in our community, right? So we'll put certain quotes within that QR code that it directs you to the website, and those quotes will say examples for you to, that we're giving you for you to input. within that space. So there'll be a blank space. You'll have a couple hours to be able to submit your truth. Even the entire event, you can always go back to that QR code in that website. And in that moment, you decide, maybe I want to make a statement. Maybe I want to ask a question. It can range from various things to relationships, housing, work, career, and that's where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you so much. And so have you had any events so far? And if so, how did it go? How did you feel about it?
We had an event in Florida so far. I felt very positive about it. We got great feedback as far as overall how the event went. And there's a live DJ, the event, and it just creates a vibe, right? People come in, they relax, they have some wine, a little bite to eat, they scan the QR code, and they have some time to really think about the things that they want to input. And even before coming to the event, you're able to see that when you're buying the ticket. Exactly, start thinking about exactly what you might want to write, the things you might want to input before even coming to the event. And it creates just a sense of security. And that's how I feel the last event went. It created a sense of security where people gave, certain answers or submissions where it touched on very sensitive topics.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. I'm excited and looking forward to this next event. To my understanding, you shared with me that it's going to be in New York, right?
Yes.
January 26th. And so I'm excited because an Anonymous Truth event here in New York, where we have such a diverse population, right? People coming in to have conversations and talk. And it seems like you've created already an energy, at least out in Florida.
Yeah.
From what you've described, where people can feel safe and the atmosphere is warm, it's welcoming, and here we are, we can have questions. And to my understanding, I think you shared that the event went so well that someone anonymously shared and talked about even suicide, right?
Right.
And so I
Right.
thought that was wonderful, right? To see that it was such a safe space that someone could talk about ideations, right? And so that's just one of those things that I think that's a great example of how Anonymous Truth events can create a space for conversations in person with one another while getting the collective together. At least that's the vibe I'm getting up here. And so I'm excited for one to be collaborating
Yes.
with Lindsay here on this kind of project here that we have, where we're going to be hosting the next event together on the 26th. And the topics, they do vary, right? We're not asking you to come in and only talk about racism, oppression, the systematic racism that exists here, but you could also talk about relationship, mental health, taboo topics that maybe, again, in your community may not be okay, right? And so maybe you want to come and ask, or you're not comfortable, or you're not sure. I find that a lot of people don't really have too many people they fully trust in that way. And so that's the beautiful part about that's the beautiful part about the Anonymous Truth, right? It's anonymous, so it won't be traced back to you, and it could be an open discussion, and you could join in. Nobody will know it was you as
Right.
well, right?
Exactly.
And so, and of course, we work very hard to make sure that the space remains safe, respectful, without judgment, but it's okay to have difference of opinion, right? And have different perspective, and sharing that in a way that I think continues to expand and lead us towards progress and growth as a collective.
Right. I
All
love
right.
that.
You love
I
that?
Yes.
Awesome.
That's
So we'll drink to that.
Yes,
Let's drink to that. Oh man, I forgot to hit it. I'm doing it backwards. I hope it doesn't mean anything.
But like you said, Steph, the collaboration that's coming up next
Yeah.
is going to be very, very profound.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it. And again, it's going to allow that comfortable space where people can come in and they're already, enjoying the vibe of the scene. It will be at Laku Cafe, which is a Haitian fusion cafe in Brooklyn.
Yes.
I see what's up. And we will be continuing to, just Pour into our community, pour into our culture, and that's what Minority is Majority Collective is about. And I feel like collaborating with Conversations with Steph is exactly everything that we both are on a mission to, just continue voicing in our community is growth within the Black community, the Asian community, the minority community, to come up and unify as a collective. So thank you.
Well said. No, thank you for coming on. And thank you guys for watching. At the end of the video, you'll get all the information regarding Laku, right, where it will be, the link to the Eventbrite for the event that's coming up. And any other questions, you can feel free to comment under the video, share it, tag it, anything you want to do, just come on out and let's have this conversation and let's be brave about it, right? Because we can. It's a safe space with people of all, colors, backgrounds, religious, all types of things, because again, minority is majority and we are a collective. Until next time, till my next video, like I said, I'm coming out with a bunch more. Take care, be well, and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.